Hi, I know I need to shave, but today I got an important topic, which is the actual value of things. And it's very easy to get caught in a fallacy, a prelude, illusion, an illusion. Um, and I'm gonna tell you like a story, okay? Let's begin with a story about how two grandparents they lived in a small village, right, where they grew up, they met, everything. But they heard, yo, the big city, there's so much fun. There's much more things to do. Um, you get access to anything so easily, right? Everything is around you, very close to you. You can have fun. There's so many things to do, right? Technology, society, civilization. So yeah, dude, that sounds so good. We gotta move there. So they made it their plan to move into a big city from their small village. Few years passed and they managed, right? Their children made enough money to move them to the big city, the central city of the country. So yeah, at first it looked great, right? It's exciting, dude. So many things are happening around. I feel so alive. But as time passed, you start to see how it actually is. That the city is soulless. No one cares about you. You are in a block. The place has like blocks of houses, There's a house with many floors, like, I don't know, 4 floors or 3, and a balcony or whatever you call it. And they are next to each other. And at night, or when you are not there, you gotta lock it, right? So they have these bars, just like in a prison, which they need to lock just to be safe, right? Yeah, that's cool and all, but over time, you meet people around, right? We are social beings. We need people, but talking with these people, it's like that they don't care about you at all, but you pretend like you care about each other, right? This and that, family, but they don't care. So you are trapped in this big city without people caring about you. And if people don't care about you, or people around you don't care about you, then what kind of society is that? What kind of life is that? Sure, you have your children coming around, right, when they have free time because they gotta work their jobs, but they aren't around as much. Everyone has their own family, their own life. So we are left alone in this place, this soulless place without nature, without anything. And you are bored out of your mind, retired, but all you can do is watch TV, read newspapers, and walk around the city, but there's nothing to do, nothing meaningful to do. So you live like this for over a decade. and you think to yourself, this is what I always wanted, this is what I should be wanting. But is it really meaningful? Is it really fulfilling? You left your friends that you grew up with, you left your, I don't know, everything behind just for this pipe dream. And now, because you don't use your brain, or you don't feel fulfilled or with a purpose, your wife or the wife developed a dementia. That's what happens when you are living a meaningless life, right? So yeah, she lives with it for a few years. But then, she passes of old age, and then you live, or the husband lives for a year or two, and then passes. And then you ask yourself, is this, passing with honor, or what's the word? Grace? Right? So it was as if they were in prison, and you gotta think to yourself, is what you want, or is what other want, or other tell you should be wanting, the actual thing that's good for you? Or does it actually have a value? Or is it that great? Or are there better things which people don't talk about, don't realize, but they are to be true? And that you gotta, make clarity in your own mind by your own standards, like through your own decision. So yeah, that was a tragic story of my grandparents. It's rough. I actually didn't spend much time with them because I live not overseas, abroad, and I missed. We had to move because there's poverty in our country. But I guess it's sacrifice, but I missed out on a lot of things a person should grow up with, like your grandparents, for example, and many other things. If I grew up in a society I belong to. But, it is what it is. So, these things you gotta figure out for yourself. The intrinsic value and the fake value. Just because everyone wants it or many people want it doesn't mean it has value. It really doesn't. You gotta check for yourself. Because many people don't even think about what actually matters. I have this little, let's say, a practice or an exercise that you can do, in your mind, imagining. You gotta use your imagination, okay? Imagine you are on this world all by yourself. right? What you would be doing. Imagine like living what you are doing, how it feels. Time passes and imagine time passing and time passing and time passing. What's the meaning of your life? What do you want to be doing? And then in my case, I realized, dude, a lot of things that people value don't have a value, right? You can drive a Lambo, but you'll get bored eventually. And it doesn't have as much of a value because you got no one to show off to, right? The prestige is just a car, it's just a machine. But just like any other machine, it can get you to point A to point B. But why do people value it so much? Everything materialistic? Does it really matter if there aren't other people in the world with you? So it's not the things that have the value, it's other people that are the bigger part of the value. What meaning does your life have without others? And that's the thing. I don't see people valuing each other enough. Not realizing how grateful they should be. Having one another. Having other people. Just be grateful that you can interact with each other. Because a lot of people, they die alone. Die in loneliness. They wander in this world without anyone caring about them at all. And you know what? It's like being stuck in void, in hell. Living in hell. You got people all around you, but no one cares about you. That's torture. And that's what society of today is. The cities, everyone's desensitized. The relationships are non-existent. Everyone takes each other for granted. Good behavior for granted. Good men for granted. Women. Not appreciating men and what they do for them. That they can feel safe with them, with the good men being around. They would put their own life for their safety. If anything happened, unappreciated, taken for granted. So, and health, right? People often forget to appreciate something they take for granted. Not often. It's like a law. Like you forget to appreciate everything you take for granted. And people take other people or good behavior from other people for granted too much. But to appreciate is not just, say thanks or whatever. It's also showing care, like your actions, that you want to preserve it, that you want it to stay around in your life, right? So that's my talk on intrinsic value and fake value. There's a lot of trends going around that, make people think, oh, this is prestigious, this is what has value, but it doesn't. If let's say electricity went down, there was chaos, anarchy, would the prestige still be there? Or are there real things that matter, or actually matter? Right?